Namaste. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. I'm grateful to be here, and I trust that you are feeling as well as you can be in this moment, despite whatever circumstances might be unveiling in your life at this time. If there is any difficulty, remember that this too shall pass, and that you are always expressing a valid emotion based on what you're experiencing inside and out. Your feelings are valid. May you find peace and relaxation here, and may I be a humble host, and if I'm not, you can hold me accountable to that. Allow me to set the intentions for this space as being a welcoming environment, open to everyone, regardless of background, identity, orientation, belief system, ethnicity, etc. May we come together as fellow students of life to uplift each other, relate in one another's experience, and share positive sentiments. Hello, dear blood. Hello, Hilaria. Welcome, dear Sven. Welcome, dear Medusa. Hello. Thank you, Spiritual Vibes. I'd also like to begin with a Shanti mantra from the Taittiriya and Katha Upanishad, which goes like this in the ancient language of Sanskrit. Sahana vavatu, sahana bhunaktu, sahaviryang karva vahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvisha vahai. Shanti shanti shanti. Harihi tatsat. May the Divine protect us both together. May the Divine nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great haste. May our studies be vigorous and effective, and may we not mutually dispute or hate any. May there be peace in us. May there be peace in our environment, and may there be peace in the forces that act on us. Hello, dear Dragon's Breath. Hello, Brave Bella. Hello, dear Inasoda. And thank you for your heart, me. Harihi Tatsat. So, for today's Sangha, I'll tell you what's on the agenda. We will have another reading of the Radiant Sutras. This is a modern translation and commentary of the ancient Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. We'll continue from the 25th Yukti. The Yuktis are the 112 gateways to the yoga of wonder and delight, finding bliss in everyday moments. There won't be a show and tell today, because there aren't any. But if you ever wanted to share something, be it a work of art that you've made, visual or audio, maybe you have something you learned, a short story, or just a picture that you've taken, you can check out the submission form in the link tree in the bio, because I like to hold space for what you all have to share too. Then for our Q&A section, you'll never guess what we're going to do. Q&A. And then we'll have a question of the day related to one of the words that we'll pull out of the scripture today. Twach, which means skin or touch. And then we'll end with a mantra meditation. Today's mantra is dedicated to a special form of Shiva and Shakti, the divine masculine and feminine, when they're one, considered as one being. Ardhanārīśvara. Very beautiful form that is. Hello, dear G. Welcome, dear Kim. The PC is doing much better, I hope, dear Kim. Yeah, I think I've done pretty much everything I can, save from getting a new computer or replacing any parts to make sure that it's up and running. I am praying that my live stream won't crash today. If it does, I must either get a new part, whatever's failing in my computer, or it must be TikTok itself, which is just needing an update, some software patch. Similar things happened to my laptop when I streamed there. So either I'm poorly taking care of all my devices in the same way, or the software itself might be needing some stability. Who knows? Thank you, dear Koli, for the heart me that you sent. Radhe, Radhe. Hello, dear Maria. A very interesting question, Rafex. Who would be my favorite future pope? I'm not sure who that person is, but I don't think I've ever thought about this before. What a concept. My future favorite pope. I don't think I can answer that question. Although I can tell you that the word for potato and pope are the same word in Spanish. So maybe we can get a potato pope. A papa papa. That'd be pretty cool. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, dear Bella. Thank you, dear Nick. Have I noticed any major differences after going plant-based? In my diet? Not that big of a difference, to be honest, other than after you eat a meal that's vegetarian, you don't need to have a food coma, at least not for as long, which is nice. It's easier to digest plants, of course, most plants, so that means your digestive system doesn't take so much energy. But in general, no, I feel just about the same, which is good, because if we're covering all the same nutrition, then we should hope we feel about the same. Yeah, every body is different, however, and what works for my body might not work for another person's body. Radhe, Radhe, dear Miyananda. Thank you, dear Pisces, for your heart, me. Om Gang Ganapataye Namah. Dear Pashtun, you ask, can I please explain what is spiritualism? Well, I don't know much about spiritualism, but if you're wondering about spirituality, it is a recognition of the fact that there is more to this life than just what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we smell, what we feel. There's more than the material experience. There's something that pervades that experience, which you are. Something other than this body, other than this mind. Whatever is doing the seeing, or maybe more accurately, being the seeing, the hearing, the tasting, the touching, the feeling. We call that witness that shines through this mind and body, the spirit, whatever it is, becoming intimately knowledgeable about what that means for you. That is spirituality. In other words, it's the inward journey rather than an outward journey. Rather than trying to achieve or attain or get anything from the outside, we are curious about what's happening on the inside. What is the nature of consciousness? What is this self? how can I even be aware of anything, regardless of what there is to be aware of in this life? This is a question that all the world's religions try to answer. Religion itself is just one form of spirituality, but you need not be religious to be spiritual. You need not ascribe to any sort of path, particularly, to be spiritual, because the destination is the same place, and that's the inner source of this life. I don't think I really have a hair routine, dear Blair. I focus on the beauty of the inner world, and it becomes expressed in the outer world. It all takes place within. I feel the same for you, dear Hilaria. Good to see you, dear Finding Bliss. Welcome, dear Witch. Hello, dear Lorum. Dear Nat, you ask, do I follow Buddhism or Hinduism? I express my love in all the world's religions, but that love, which is to be expressed by them all, is owned by none. Thank you, Fish for Thought, for your heart, me. Shri Mahalakshmiyai Namah. What's my favorite planet? Asks Fish. Yours is Pluto. Pluto is a wonderful planet, even if it's dwarf. However, I have a natural fondness towards the planet that I'm on. Oh, I love planet Earth. Although I strive to love all planets equally, I have a hard time letting go of my love for planet Earth, and honestly, I hope I never do. These are mantras in the ancient language of Sanskrit, dear Pashtun. Perhaps the oldest continually spoken language. Well said, dear G. Take care of what you put in. Then the resulting dead cells will push out beautifully. Dear Inesoda, you ask, what approach to take to the memory of someone who harmed you? When I look back at my life, I think if many people lived my life through my eyes, they would see that many people have harmed me over the course of my life. But me personally, I choose not to see it that way. I could describe details that to most people would sound traumatic, but to me, I don't take it personally, even my own life. That if another person in their own pain tries to share that pain with me in an unhelpful way, I just feel sorry for them, and I take care of this body and this mind if there are any after effects of that, because I know it was never personal. People are just in pain, and sometimes that pain might get shared through osmosis, and if I am sensitive to that pain, then I try to forgive them for incidentally passing that on. And if this body and this mind needs to be taken care of after that, then I do so. So I don't feel like I have any memories of people who harmed me. I have memories where harm took place to this body, to this mind, in association with another person, but that was their pain, not mine. That was their own harm that they were dealing with. They only hurt themselves in the process, and I pray for them. And each experience gets me closer to what needs to be taken care of in my body, in my mind. Thank you, dear Neon Jello Pack, for the hand hearts you sent and a subset of roses. Kri Kalikaye Nama. Dear Innasoda, thank you for your rose too. Dum Durgaya Nama. All religions are welcome here, especially those who aren't religious. We welcome everyone here, regardless of the path. Welcome, dear Lace. Welcome, dear Alva Lilian. If I can pronounce your name in a preferable way, please let me know. And dear Hilaraya, thank you for your 29 roses. Shri Ganeshaya Nama. Well said, dear Arcana. Heaven, yeah. This is a yoga danda, dear Nat. You can put it under your armpit as a quick way to balance your nervous system. When you go to sleep at night, for understandable evolutionary reasons, the side that you're sleeping on, that side your nervous system quells. Meanwhile, the side that's open to the world is still active. And there is a difference depending on if you sleep on your left side or your right side, because we have lateralized features in our brain. It's subtle, but it's there. When your left side's nervous system is more active, you'll notice a different effect than your right side. And when they're balanced, then you feel very calm. Your left side has a lot to do with your sympathetic nervous system, and your right side has a lot to do with your parasympathetic nervous system. And there's overlap and there's nuances. But you can check if you breathe through your nose, which side is breathing more? Is it your left side or is it your right side? If it's your left side, then your lunar, your feminine energies are probably a little more active. If it's your right side, then your solar or masculine energies are a little more active. In the ancient language of Sanskrit, that's known as the Ida and Pingala, the moon and sun. If you want one side to be a little more active, then that's fine. If your femininity is needed more than your masculinity, or vice versa, that's fine. But if you want to balance that, you can stick a yoga danda, or just your hand, or anything, under the armpit, corresponding to the nostril that's open, and that will open the other side because it swaps. For example, if you put something under your left armpit, then you'll notice that your right nostril will open up after a few minutes. If you put your hand under your right armpit, then after a few minutes your left nostril will open up. Most of the time. unless you're sick, then it's pretty difficult to open your nostrils. And if you don't want to hold your hand under your armpit for minutes at a time, I present stick. Danda. It's surprisingly useful and effective. At this moment, I think my nervous system is pretty balanced, so I don't need it under any. But if I notice that changes during the live stream, you'll see it underneath one of my armpits. Thank you, dear Tan Hao Yu, for your heart me. Bharam Bhairvaya Namo Nama. Hello, dear Anne. Hello, dear Christians. The A with the 2 dots over it is hard. Well, I'll be happy to practice. I love the soundscape of us humans. What happened to my hand, asks Lorem. Oh, the blister on my knuckle. That's from my sandals. The last live stream, I really wanted to run to Butchart Gardens, which is a beautiful gardens, about a 40-minute walk from my house on Vancouver Island. But it closed in 40 minutes, so I started running there. But I was running in sandals, so I thought, that's no good. I'll run in my bare feet then. So I took my sandals off, and I was holding my sandals in my right hand. And as I was running, the leather of the sandals, or the pleather, because it's definitely not real leather, was rubbing against my knuckles, and that gave me a blister. I'm the only person in the world who gets blisters from sandals on their hands. So that's why my hand looks like that today. Aloha, dear feelings with healings. Howdy, dear cliche. Welcome, Jocelyn. Hello, dear Sarah. I am not married with kids, dear Pashtun. Not in this lifetime, anyway. And goodbye, dear Sarah. Thanks for stopping by. Hello, Onar Sonar. Hello, dear Mirmander. I am well, thank you. I am holding a yoga danda. And because we were just talking about it, I'm sure those that were listening would love to express what they just learned back to you. I was wearing yamdals, that's right. Hello, dear Jamie. I did make it. I actually ran so fast I got there 25 minutes early. Hilary, you wonder when I awakened. Some say at the beginning of time. Some say right now. Some say I still haven't, and that it's an infinite journey of awakening. I say I wake up to something new every day. Hello, dear Lena. Dear Christians, you ask, do I want to marry? I don't think about it, because marriage is just a formality. Anyone who I'm with, I feel like I have already married, in a past life perhaps. So, ceremony is just for fun. And it would be fun to go through that ceremony again. But you can be intimately bonded with another being regardless of formal ceremony or not. And besides, I'm not guaranteed to even wake up tomorrow. So, what use is it to fantasize over what may happen tomorrow when all I have is today? And today, in this moment, I'm grateful for the connections that I have, and I don't feel like any ceremony or formality would make me closer. I am as close as I can be in this moment with the people in my life, and that's what matters most to me. Now, shall we continue reading through the Radiant Sutras? This beautiful, delectable conversation between the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine as they enumerate various pathways to liberation in the most mundane and innocuous moments. So this will be our listening section of our Sangha, and then afterwards my attention shall return onto the comment section. But I'll give my full attention to reading this to you now. We continue with the 25th Yukti, one of the 112 gateways to the yoga of wonder and delight. I'll read the Sanskrit verse, and then the English interpretation, and finally we'll pull out a single word from the Sanskrit and use that as a seed for the practice that this verse contains. Sounds good? This is the 48th verse overall in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Dehantare tvag vibhagam bhitti bhutam vichintayet na kinchid antare tasya dhyaya na dhyeya bhag bhavet. That means attend to the skin as a subtle boundary containing vastness. Enter that pulsing immensity. Discover that you are not separate from anything there. There is no inside. There is no outside. There is no other. No object to meditate, no object to meditate upon that is not you. This is Bhairava, the fearsome form of the Divine Masculine, singing to his beloved Bhairavi, or Devi. Let's pull out a single word from that verse. The word is Twach. It means to cover. Skin, hide, a cow's hide used in the pressing out of the soma, an ancient elixir. A leather bag, bark, rind, peel, cinnamon, a cover of a horse, the surface of the earth, for example, or even a mystical name of the letter Ya. It's spelled Tvac, Twach. The practice? This yukti explores the mystery of skin. There are several phases to the practice. To begin, simply dwell with the feeling that within the skin is vastness. You could do this right now. Or if you prefer, within the covering is nothing. After a while, something surprising happens. The dual perception of boundaries and spaciousness releases your senses to perceive reality at a deeper level. And this shift of perception stimulates changes in your internal chemistry. The senses get so happy to be doing what they are built for, their higher purpose, that they set in motion the manufacture of your own happy hormones. Note that Twach refers to the skin used in creating soma, the ambrosia of life. In ancient texts, soma is the mythical psychedelic plant infusion that gave the ancient yogis the ability to hear the mantras resonating in eternity. Soma is juice, extract, especially the juice of the soma plant offered in libations to the gods. This juice was collected by moonlight on certain mountains. Soma's other meanings include the moon, nectar, heaven, sky, ethers, a drug of supposed magical properties. Translated into the here and now, from the mythic to the somatic, the soma spoken of in this sutra refers to the process by which the body produces its own molecules of delight, which we might call endorphins. In the meditation tradition, soma refers to the body's natural nectars that enhance perception. In this one little word, twach, we see a hint at one of the central aims of this yoga, which is to stay juicy. These 112 practices open perception in a way that creates joy at being alive, at even the simplest things in life. And this deep appreciation tunes the body so it can produce soma, the intrinsic chemistry of delight. This is the way soma was explained to me when I was a teenager and first learning about Kashmir Shaivism. When I meditate in this way, inside is all free and open space, and the world outside looks like gorgeous art, luminous and ever-changing. That is the 25th yukti. Beautiful. Now, let's read the 26th yukti, or the 49th verse overall in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Hridya kashe nilinaksha padma sambhuta madhyagaha ananya cheta subhage param saubhagyam apnutyat. That means the one who is at play everywhere says, there is a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here. Are you here? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen to the song that is always resonating. Give yourself to it with total abandon. Quiet ecstasy is here, and a steady, regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. You who are the embodiment of blessing. Once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return again and again. Answer that call and be saturated with knowing, I belong here. I am home. The word of the verse is Sampurta. That's S-A-M-P-U-T-A. Sampurta. It can mean a hemispherical bowl or anything so shaped. The space between two bowls. A round covered case or box for jewelry. A hemisphere. The kurabaka flower. It can also mean a kind of sex. It can also mean credit or balance. The practice? Do whatever makes your heart sing. Then listen to it. What you hear is the primordial mantra, and it is a portal to your inner world. Samputa evokes the image of the heart as an infinite singing bowl. The word also points to the resonating space between two bowls, between two hearts, two chakras, two bodies. In Tantra, Samputa can refer to containing or covering the jewel of one mantra with another. For example, Aum Hrim Aum. Would be a good covering mantra because it is palindromic. Shiva would be a Samputa mantra. Samputa also refers to a series of poses in the yoga of sex. Shiva is saying to Shakti, under the bowl of the infinite sky, let us make love. I am infinite consciousness. You are divine creative energy. Let us lie together and move through the Samputa poses, sharing our secrets of love. May the delight-filled goddess energy join with the infinite I am consciousness as equals. In this yukti, the aspect of you, that is Shakti, the vibrant energy of life, is lying with her lover, Shiva, who is your essential consciousness, and magnetism is flowing between these polarities. Samputa is also the space between jewel boxes, and this space is lush with juicy flowing energy that hums with an ecstasy about to gush forth. The ecstatic magnetism flowing between the goddess and her beloved gives rise to mantras. Samputa suggests that mantras emerge spontaneously from the vibrancy of the relationship of energy and consciousness. Listen to the mantra of the heart as if it is emerging from the sigh of lovers. You might also hear a humming sound, like that of bees. The kurabaka flower is referred to in Sanskrit love poetry as rich in nectar and a lure for the bees, who excite the air with their humming. The verse begins with hridaya, or hridya, being in the heart, inward, pleasing to the heart, beloved, cherished, savory food that makes your stomach happy, a delicious liquor made from honey. In the heart, you are free. There is open space, akasha. The Samputa mantra resonating here creates a delicious liquor. Drink and be refreshed. Allow your attention to alight here, as lightly, nili, as a bird settles on a tree. Follow any impulse of cherishing inward to the heart and rest in the vast spaciousness of what the heart is. Meditate on the current of love itself and let it call you home. Anything that has ever pleased you or pleased your heart can be your guide. All that you adore, all that is nourishing to the heart, all that has ever made you feel like you are drinking the sweet honey nectar of life is always here in your heart. Come rest in the splendor. That is what that verse was saying. These are just delectable, aren't they? Let's read just one more. This will be the last yukti today, the 27th. 27th. This is also the 50th verse overall in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Sarvatashvar sharirasya dwadashante manolayat Dardha buddher dudri bhutam tattva lakshyam pravartate. Put attention into the luminous connections between the centers of the body, where the mind loves to dissolve. Base of the spine and top of the head, procreative organs, and the heart. Heart and throat, throat and forehead, forehead and the crown of the skull. Enter that glowing net of light with a focus born of awe, and even your bones will know enlightenment. The word of the verse is Manolaya. This is a good word. M-A-N-O-L-A-Y-A. Manolaya. It means a loss of awareness due to total mental absorption. Our author is going to give grammatical deconstruction, but I will add my own. It comes from the word mana, meaning mind, and laya, which means dissolution, dissolution of the mind. The author gives manas, mind, in its widest sense, and laya, the act of sticking or clinging to become attached to anyone, to disappear, to be dissolved or absorbed, lying down, melting, absorption in, rest, repose, place of rest, resistance, house, sport, diversion, merriness, delight in anything, an embrace, in music, time, a kind of measure, the union of song, dance, and instrumental music, a pause, a swoon. All right, the author gave a much more in-depth grammatical deconstruction than I did. The practice, there are sweet spots everywhere in the body, areas the mind, the manas, loves to melt into and delight in, laya. If we take the definition of laya above and unfold it a bit, we hear something like the following. If you follow the pendulum of the breath from its highest point, where it swings up into the head, to its lowest point, where it swings down into the vibrating area between the legs, you will find many places of rest, residences, and houses for your attention to dwell. These places invite you to enter and be in enjoyment. The atmosphere is alive with music and dance. Run your hands over your body and explore the places that feel like the union of song and dance. Luxurious areas you want to linger in. Be sure to include the arms, hands, legs, and feet. Go get a massage from a really skilled person, and then meditate afterwards and chart your whole body. Do things that make you feel fantastic. And when in the height of feeling wonderful, sit down and meditate and sense where the energies are dancing. In lovemaking, notice the areas of heightened sensation when awareness is intensified. If you study the chakras, keep in mind that those are someone else's maps of their body, a little sketch of some moment of their life. That's their song and dance. What's yours? If you feel called to lie down, swoon, melt into pleasure, then Laya is working for you. The chakras are entertaining places to rest and sport with the energies of life and love. When you find an area you are called to embrace, give over to the sensations, memorize the inner dance of energy, and listen to the quiet inner music. Those are another 3 unique meditation practices that can last you a lifetime. Thank you very much for listening. If that inspired within you any reflections, comments, insights, you are always welcome to share them. So that concludes our Shravana section dedicated to listening, and we can transition to Manana. And then we can explore whatever's in our hearts and minds with Q&A, perhaps. I welcome those who joined while we were reading as well. And I thank you who sent a gift whilst we read too. Dear Mermander, thank you for your pair of tiny bunnies. Yippee! And the shoot the apple. Oh, poor apple. The heart me and the club cheers. Hum, 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 hrim, hrim, Namah Shakti Shivaya, Shiva Shaktiyai Nama Om. Dear Kim, thank you for the kitten eating and the pair of tiny dinies. Yahoo! Dark Mortal, thank you for your rose. Your trio of roses, in fact. Shri Hanumate Namah. Vivian, thank you for your rose too. Jaya Sita Rama. And dear Usha Priyaji, thank you for your hand hearts. Bhur Bhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Hello, dear Dylan. You had asked, how do you know you're making the right decision? There are no such things as making the right decision, but you can make the decision right. What's the difference? In making the right decision, you assume that there's a wrong decision. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a question, right? Wrong. Consider your choices in life not a test that one of them is right and the rest are wrong. That any choice can be right or wrong, depending on how you make the choice. That it's not what you choose, it's how you choose. You are allowed to make choices that result in mistakes. Mistakes aren't signs of wrong decisions. They're signs of ways you could have made that decision better. And if you take accountability from that, then even that decision was right. Because the accountability of the mistake is how you make the decision right. The outcomes of our actions are not going to be something that we could ever predict. We can do our best and still fail. And true success in life is in doing your best, regardless of pass or fail. I hope that helps. Dear Dylan. It's a beautiful conversation, dear G. Shiva, the infinite consciousness, divine masculine. Shakti, all creation, divine feminine. We each contain the balance of Shiva and Shakti. I like that. Hello, dear Mirna. Kuenta Titak. You had asked, what is the book about? Maybe I can read the back of the book. No, the back of the book doesn't tell you. The front cover does. The gateways to wonder and delight are flung open wide for all to enter. At once a beautiful love song and an encyclopedia of yogic techniques, the cherished text known as the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra shimmers with new effulgence. In Lauren Roche's The Radiant Sutras, Lauren brings us his unique perspective on each of the 112 Sanskrit teachings, along with his one-of-a-kind guidance on how to meditate with, embody, and practice them. What he describes as answering the call of the sutras you love. Here is an invitation to experience directly the ecstatic depths of yoga as revealed by the divine partners Shiva and Shakti through an intimate exploration of one, the divinity that is permeating your body at this very moment. 2, the alchemical power of Sanskrit. 3, yoga meditation, harmonizing all the elements and levels of your being. And 4, the depths of your connection to the energies of life. Taken as a whole, this teaching is startling in its breadth and the huge range of human experience that it encompasses. This is a book to savor one phrase at a time, over a period of days or years or a lifetime. With the Radiant Sutras, yoga and meditation students everywhere can nurture their own relationship with these living wisdom teachings. Namaste, dear Spanglish. Thank you, Kim, for the crystal dreams. Om Namah Shivaya. My eyes got more beautiful, shares Buddha in our voice. Did I do something? I have been practicing the cultivation of ojas. Ojas is said to give a luster to the eyes, so that's good validation that something must be working. Either that, or since the last time you were here, I rearranged my room and now I've set myself in front of a window and there's a nice blue and green sky outside today. Probably that. Hello, dear Shelly Belly. Hello, dear Costas. What is it? Ojas. Ojas is a Sanskrit word meaning strength, virility, power. It's said to be a form of soma. Soma being that nectar of the gods, ambrosia, created by the body. Subtle energy life force. Shares G. That's good. There's a sequence of matter in the body when it comes to creating a muscle tissue, bone tissue, bone marrow. Bone marrow begets blood. Blood is so precious of a vital fluid. That blood does not stop there. Blood gets transformed into virya, the sexual fluids. It's said that 1 drop of the sexual fluids is formed from 40 drops of blood. Can you imagine how much work went into a single drop of blood? Times 40, you get a single drop of virya. You can choose to conserve that virya, or you can release it through intimate experiences. Both are completely valid. If you choose to conserve it, however, then it does transform into one more thing. From 40 drops of virya, it becomes 1 drop of ojas. It is the cerebral spinal fluid itself. The right quality of it can enhance your nervous system and make this whole body re-energized, revitalized. It's incredible the power contained in that energy. Completely voluntary, optional, if you choose. I don't consider myself a celibate, however, because I can choose to release it at any time. Just at this moment in my life, I choose not to. It's no vow. I just enjoy it. That's all. Was I always spiritual? Asked Bubbles. We all are always spiritual, because we are all spirits having a human experience, rather than humans having a spiritual experience. But whether we recognize that at all points in each lifetime or not is a question that varies from person to person. And for me, I did not consider myself spiritual for most of my life, most of my short life thus far. That changed at no particular moment, although there were many moments of transformation. But over the course of several years, through high school and university, hello, The Matrix, I am. Thank you for your follow, dear Chloe. I have a question of the day for all of you. if you're interested in exploring it together. In the yukti that we read first today, the 25th one, the word of the verse was twach. This word has a lot to do with our skin. What is the symbolism of skin? That's my question I'd like to ask today. What is the symbolism of our skin? Skin is something that we take for granted. We live in a time where many of us have very healthy skin. Still, many of us struggle keeping our skin health. What is the symbolism of our skin? This I'd like to explore with you. Dear Anne, you share, it will always show your age. I see what you mean. Our skin can be weathered. It can wrinkle, it can crease. It can bear our wounds in the form of scars. It can pigment. We can lose our pigmentation. It is something of a canvas for the journey we've had in life. This is a subtle question. Protection, shares Kim. Indeed, without our skin, there'd just be muscle. Muscle and organ tissue and bones. I am grateful for our skin to protect all that. Like a barrier, shares Bubbles. Odin, you shared, is what allows us to interact with the outside. Yeah, an interface. Edward, you share, skin is a reflection of the inner environment and molded by outside environment. I see that. The Matrix, I am, you share, that all depends how deep down the rabbit hole you wish to go. Only as deep as my skin won't get too tarnished by the dirt deep down there. I can tell this is a thinker of a question, or maybe more of a feeler. Feeling is associated intimately with our skin. If we think about the organs and each corresponding sense, eyes have sight, ears have sound, nose has smell, tongue has taste, skin has touch. Protection echoes dancing aurora borealis. Are you asking me if I have different hair color to Ranjit? I've never dyed my hair in my life. But I do have a blue light on above me. You can see the shadow it makes when I move my hand over it. We can talk a little about Mara, asks Spanglish. Make sure we got all the answers in for the question of the day first. Give it another moment. Without skin, would we not feel, would we? Asks Kim. It's a good question. I am sure that we would still have a sensation of touch. It would be very different. However, more pressure and pain. Pure muscle touching something. I don't think I want to try that out. All right, thank you everyone for exploring this question of the day with me. I love all these answers, brief as they are. Each one is very insightful. Skin is like the landscape of our bodies. I love that, dear Ranjit. Indeed. Skin is something of a boundary that we tend to identify with as what defines the inner and outer world. But I like the meditation technique proposed in the 25th yukti that we read today that dissolves this notion of separation. It was a hard question, well, I'm glad to challenge you. Alright, dear Spanglish, can I talk a little bit about Mara? Mara is a demon in Buddhism, a demon that challenged Buddha throughout his life. Mara is representative of all of Siddhartha Gautama's doubts. Mara is the one that created resistance within him when he was going to leave his princely life and lead a monastic life. Mara is the one that tried to offer all sorts of boons and temptations and tried to attack Buddha under the Bodhi tree before enlightenment. Mara is even the one that I believe tricked a few of the Sangis, the early bhikkhus, into deceiving the Buddha. And ultimately the Buddha did die as a result of that after living a noble life. Just as a unique flair to the end of his story, a series of events happened which led Buddha to taking alms food, and the alms food was unfortunately tainted, unbeknownst to the person who gave it, and he suffered some digestive problems, intestinal problems, and ended up passing away as a result of that. But the Buddha said to forgive everyone involved. So Mara is a personification of deceit, of doubt, of temptation. And we all experience that. And just like Siddhartha Gautama conquered Mara, simply by trusting in himself, we too can transcend these parts of ourself by being non-reactive to the arising sensations that take us away from our path. Dear Clearly Growing, you had asked, what is Tantra? Tantra means technology. Well, the suffix tra means technology. You'll hear it in words like mantra or yantra. Mantra comes from the root man, which is where we get the word mind, also mental. Mantra means mental technology. It's what our mind uses. Specifically, repeated thoughts in the form of sound. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's a mental technology, a mantra. A yantra, I forget what the root yan means, but I know that a yantra today refers to visual forms of technology. Just as mantra is a sound form, yantra is a visual form, like a mandala or a murti. Various things to fix your gaze on whilst you meditate. And tantra generally denotes the physical practices, the physical technologies for meditation. Tan has a root which can refer to our body, our man and our tan, our mind and our body. Literally speaking, however, tan refers to something that can be woven. Tantra is the technology of weaving. It's a name for a loom, but it has become spiritualized to mean something far more abstract, as weaving many threads together, many different practices in harmony together. And it's part of the tradition of yoga, one of the philosophical schools of ancient India. Maybe 10,000 years old, coming from the Dravidian societies of the south. Where is my R coming from, asks Mitchell. If there's a preferred way to pronounce your name, please let me know. Most of us in English pronounce our R by dipping the tip of our tongue down and arching the bridge of our tongue up to our hard palate. Ra, 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 ra. I've learned that this is an approximation of how this sound used to be pronounced. If we dial back time to thousands of years ago, it wasn't the arch of our tongue that went to the hard palate. It was the bottom of our tongue. That's called retroflex. Ra, ra, ra. And generally, if you aspirate while doing that, that's how you get the rolled R's. This is still preserved in many languages, such as Spanish, arriba, and also many Indian languages, especially Sanskrit. Sanskrit is very precise in its phonetics, and to properly speak Sanskrit, we must respect the articulation of the tongue in relation to each part. So whenever I say Sanskrit or Sanskrit-derived words, I try to be precise and roll my tongue back. Same with other languages like Spanish or Arabic. If I can try to pronounce it in the way that is authentic to native speakers, I think that's a way of honoring the language. But in English, I generally don't roll my R's. Only if we're using precise Sanskrit terms in English, like chakra, mantra, tantra. And then I try to be precise to the retroflex. Skin is the house we temporarily live in. I like that, Mitchell. It's beautiful. I like that, Buddha. Try not to chant the mantra. Instead, observe the sound of the mantra as it vibrates the voice. Beautiful. Anya, you had added to our discussion of the skin as it being like the cellular membrane to our internal universe. What a great analogy. Yeah. Indeed, dear Edwards. At the level of material existence, we need separation. Otherwise, everything becomes a black hole in a singularity. Fortunately, we can have two layers of existence happening simultaneously. The layer of duality and separation, and the layer of non-duality and unity. We experience that unity at the level of consciousness. We experience that diversity at the level of our bodies. Dear Jonas, you had asked, what do I think about the Vatican? I don't think much of the Vatican. I am 23, dear Alice. No, I haven't done anything to my hair lately, dear Saint Aisha. It's beautiful, dear Bubbles. I don't think I did see your comment about the bald eagles, dear Shelly Belly. I'm not sure if it came through, or I might have missed it. I think I may have missed it. You're welcome to resend it. Well, I certainly don't compare myself with anyone on this platform, dear Buddha, but I'm grateful to be here nonetheless. Everyone here has something special, and I'm grateful that you can recognize what's special about me. I hope to recognize what's special about all of you. Hello, dear George. You share healing is getting easier. I'm so happy to hear that, and you're welcome, of course. Always happy to send my best wishes. Thank you, dear Bloody Teeth. I'm happy to be live earlier too, dear Ranjit. Dear Gabriel, you ask, how am I so calm? Honestly, I've been humbled by the universe enough times to know that this is the way the universe wants me to be. So, out of respect for that, I try to stay calm. Isn't sound fascinating, dear Ranjit? Your cat is going to have kittens soon, shares Hilaria. I love that. The cat distribution system working as intended. It's okay, dear Michelle. The mantra is always clear your chakras, shares Hilaria. I'm happy to hear that. There's mantras for each chakra too. Main mantras and sub mantras. I'd love to go through them if anyone's interested. Hello, dear Jade. Hilary, you are twice my age. We are the same age at the level of the soul, and that's lovely. Hello, Phi Omega. How long did I spend in India? Asks Vince. In this lifetime? You're too early to ask that. I haven't been there yet. At least not physically. Welcome, dear Empress. Good evening, Jason the Bunny Man. I have a Yoga Danda in my hands, dear Chaz. I love mantra as well, dear Buddha. No, I'm not 28 yet. 23. Born in 2001. Dear Phi Omega, you share you've seen me some years ago in a dream in India, in a house full of books. Perhaps your dream will come true one day. Yoga Danda, yes. No R, but you spelled every other letter perfectly. Yeah, it is a lovely wood. I'm not sure what kind. Thank you, dear Mermander. Dear Anya, you're never going to pronounce mantra and chakra the same after today. It's also more satisfying that way. I think colloquially it's called the crispy R, and I love that. It's crispy. The reason why it's specifically pronounced that way is because each place in our mouth corresponds to one of the 5 bhutas, elements. Akasha, space, corresponds to the back of our mouth, our throat. Vayu, air, corresponds to the soft palatal region, where it's wide and broad like the air on our earth. And then when we curl our tongue back, that's like the tendril of a flame. And it's from there we pronounce r, r, r. So without curling our tongue back, then our speech doesn't involve the element of fire. Then our teeth are the element of earth, nice and solid, and our lips, very round and flowing, is the element of water. Prithvi is earth and apas is water. So tejas, fire, is utilized in speech whenever we curl our tongue back. And we've lost most retroflex sounds in most languages, but Sanskrit preserves them, which is so beautiful. All of the elements of speech are used. Where'd the Fire Nation go? I did not make this. It's definitely out of my talent at this moment to be able to carve something this detailed. It doesn't have to be carved for it to work. All you have to do is put it under your arm for it to work. So you can find a stick that's naturally shaped like that and it'll work just the same. But it looks like beech wood. Well, I trust you. Anyone that knows their wood probably would be one to point out the right kind. It is used for balancing your nervous system. Our body responds to pressure, and when pressure is on one side of the body, it tends to activate the other side of the body. So if you pay attention to various things in the body that are lateralized, like the breath going between your left or right nostril, you can begin to pick up on what side of your body might benefit from pressure, like under your armpit. It's a very simple but effective technique that many of our ancestors used, especially in India. And if you look at portraits or statues of yogis, they often have this to keep their nervous system balanced. And it's basically free. I mean, you can buy one like I did for cheap, or you could make one, or you can just find a stick naturally shaped like that, or you can just use your hands. You can just make that shape and put it under your armpit, or the other one, or both at the same time. Simple but effective. Isn't that beautiful? There, Hilaraya, Nevaeh is heaven spelt backwards. I like that. And your name backwards is Hairali. Hairali. That's fun. I'm glad you find it relaxing. Pressure in the armpit. It's simple. There's all sorts of little simple things we can do to explore balancing, grounding ourselves. Sorry, I didn't see your question. I just saw it now scrolling up, dear Edwards. You had asked, what is Yeshua to me? Are you still here? By the way, sorry if I've spent too long and you're no longer here. You're still here, okay. No, I haven't been punching walls, dear Marcy. Yeshua is the more accurate spelling of the name which we know as Jesus. Of course, that's the name of the teacher that came from Nazareth. And what a beautiful being he was and is to this day. I have such a fondness for the world's religions, and Christianity is no exception. I recently watched a movie about Yeshua. The movie was called King of Kings, which is one of his many epithets. And it was a beautiful movie. I enjoyed it. Thank you, dear Anasoda, for your ice cream cone. Kamalir Mahakalikaye Namah. The movie's called The King of Kings. It just came out. I think it released on Good Friday or something. It might still be playing in theaters near you. It's a great movie if you want to watch an animation of the life of Jesus. I think my favorite representation of the life of Jesus is the series they're still making right now called The Chosen, which follows the life of the disciples. There's some really great movies made, but a whole TV series that goes like day by day over the course of the life of the apostles is just fascinating. I love it. Dear Nath, you sure I should make an audiobook of mantras? That sounds lovely. I do have a playlist on my YouTube with all of the mantras that we've chanted in these live streams so far, as well as guided meditations, if ever you want to check that out. And it's beautiful, dear Hilaraya. No, I have not cut my hair. Ask less than 3. Season 5 of The Chosen is still in theaters. Really? Oh, I should check that out. I didn't even know it was out yet. Thank you for that, the maniac Mitch. What does a day in my life look like? Asks less than 3. Well, I'll tell you about my day though so far. Today, I woke up and I opened the blinds and I was happy to see that the sun was out, blue sky. I rose from my bed around 9, I believe. And then I went and prayed and did some mantras for each of the forms of the divine on my altar behind you. And I did my morning routine, drank some Ganga water, washed my face. I went outside, did Surya Namaskara, sun salutations, did some stretches. And normally I go for a walk, but I wanted to do a live stream early today, so I just went straight to doing a live stream after I took some vitamins, drank some Shilajit. But today, while live streaming, I saw that the holy Amazon truck arrived and dropped off the last of what I need to plant tulasi seeds. Tulasi is one of the holiest plants. It's known as holy basil in English. And she is considered a form of the goddess. She's considered so holy that when the British imperialization came to India, they were doing censuses. What's the plural of census? Censai? Anyway, they were taking a census. And one of the standard questions is, what faith do you have? You know, some people wrote down, I'm a Hindu. Some people wrote down, I'm Sikh. Some people wrote down, I'm Muslim. Some people wrote down, I'm Buddhist. Some people wrote down, whatever. But a whole, I think, 4% which is a lot of people, because India has a lot of people. 4% of people simply wrote down that their religion was that they took care of the tulasi plant. That's how holy she is. So last year I grew her, and she grew very big up until fall came, and she ended up dropping her body and reincarnating elsewhere. This year I'm going to try growing her from seed and do everything I can to try to keep her all year round, which is going to be difficult in Canada, even the subtropical part of Canada that I live on. So I'm sure that'll be part of my day after this live stream, and I'll go for a walk and eat dinner and perhaps have a call with my lover, my partner. And then, oh, I said the name of my country. Now you got election results at the bottom of your screen. Quel dommage. So yeah, that's what my day looks like today. I think The Chosen was a Netflix series, but they had some problems with streaming platforms and ended up making their own free streaming platform, which is an app that's simply called The Chosen. You can download that and watch it for free. I do not have a wife, at least not in this lifetime, dear burn dog. I do have a partner at this moment. However, dearest Minnesota, you share you've been sleeping with anxiety. Do I know what could help? There are many things that help me with my anxiety. Sleep, ironically, is one of them. That the longer you stay up anxious, the more anxious you be, until you get so tired out that you just pass out, which I've definitely experienced. I'm sorry if you're experiencing something like that. If you can go to bed early, if you can go to bed before the sun sets, or even as the sun is setting, something about that daylight, that you're not falling asleep to the dark of night, that you fall asleep to the light leaving, and you rise to the light coming, that does wonders for one's mental health. So simply trying to go to sleep earlier can be a great thing to do with your anxiety. Another thing you can try to do, and this is going to be very hard, perhaps the hardest thing you ever do, but the most rewarding, discover your peace in the anxiety. Relax into the sensation of anxiety. This is a very subtle but profound shift in your relationship to anxiety. You don't see it as something to separate yourself from, to remove, or to run away from. You see it as something to dissolve into. That you see anxiety as a friend that you hug, you embrace. Anxiety is a mirage of an enemy when it is actually a close friend. If you can go past the point where the mirage disappears into the sensation of anxiety, find a kind of drop that you lose yourself in the anxiety in a blissful way, in a happy, in a joyful way. This sounds like the opposite of what your anxiety wants you to feel. Your anxiety wants you to be tricked by it because it's playing a game of an enemy. But if you see it as something other than an enemy, something to love, something to hold with care, that dynamic changes, and perhaps even overnight. Rest in anxiety. You can rest in all emotions if you really are brave enough. Can I pray for you, dear burn dog? can pray. It's understandable, dear David. No, I don't think I ate anything today yet, dear Jez. But thank you for reminding me. I should do that. Thank you, the Maniac Mitch, for your heart, me. Hanumate Rudratmakaya Hum Bhat Swaha. Thank you, Anasoda, for your friendship necklace. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hello, dear Ania. I don't consider myself to be any higher than anyone. If anything, I try my best to see something higher in everyone around me, so that I am always looking for something to grow in. I am at your service. That's a great reminder, dear Buddha. Anxiety is always temporary, but if it takes over, it can appear permanent. That's the lie of anxiety. You will feel like this forever. You never do, thankfully. It always comes to pass. Trying to remember that can be very helpful. Oh, you're referring to Tulasi. Can you eat this one? She has very many medicinal properties. Yeah. I don't recommend putting her in a sandwich. There are mantras to ask her nicely if you can take some of her leaves or flower petals. If she wishes, she may allow you. If you feel like there is an affirmation coming from her, then you may take a couple leaves, maybe flowers. However, she has a wish. Whenever a leaf or a flower is taken from her, she does ask of you something. She says, offer me to Keshava. Keshava is her Ishta Devata. That's the form of the divine that she's personally attracted to. Keshava, it's a form of Krishna, Vishnu. So this means that regardless of what you do with her leaves, if after chanting the mantra, you feel she allows you to take some, and you chant the mantra to apologize for any pain caused, and after you offer the leaves to Keshava, leave them for a while in Keshava's presence, then you may use her for medicinal purposes. Thank you, dear Hairspray Betty, for your tiny yippee. Dear Shallow Play, thank you for your pair of roses. Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvananda Kare Devi Narayani Namostute. The aroma of tulasi leaves is incredible. Her aroma is considered so fragrant that some people even doubt that they are worthy to smell it. And when made in a tea, the tea of the tulasi plant has great anxiety relief effects. It's good for stress relief, anxiety relief. If you do have a tulasi plant and you give her a lot of love, she will grow many leaves, and you are supposed to prune her. So you will end up with probably more leaves than you know what to do with. So you'll be finding lots of use for them. Thank you, dear dream traveler, for your heart, me. Namah Karlim Ambita me Shrim Nadita me Hrim Devita me Aim Saraswatyai Swaha. I can spell the plant. It's holy basil, if you just want to remember that. In Sanskrit, it's spelled T-U-L-A-S-I-I, or just I with a bar over it. It's a long I. In Hindi and other Schwa-deleted languages, they lose that middle A, and so you'll most frequently see it spelled T-U-L-S-I without the A. But in Sanskrit, it's tulasi with an A. What is my partner's name? I'm not sure that she is comfortable sharing that, but her username is G to infinity, and she is here. Sending good vibes. Thank you, Medic Man, for your heart meme. Mithraya Namaha. And dear Shallow Play, thank you for another rose and heart meme. Om Ravaye Namaha. Dear Charlie, you ask, what's the best remedy for heartbreak? What's the best remedy for a remedy? Heartbreak is the remedy. Over the course of a relationship, you created all sorts of attachments in your heart for them. Heartbreak is the remedy, alleviating you of those attachments. Heartbreak isn't a problem. Heartbreak is the healing process. You are being healed by your heartbreak. Whoever said healing was a peaceful process ain't know nothing about healing. Healing is a painful process. Those who have had to heal from painful things know that healing is a painful journey, but definitely one that you should not delay. You feel into that pain. You allow yourself to feel that. You go through the motions, and you are healed by that experience. So the heartbreak is not the problem. The heartbreak is the solution. Be heartbroken. Allow yourself to feel that. You are allowed to be in this position. Your heart is aching because it's reorganizing, not because there's anything wrong with it. You are actively in repair, renovating your heart, growing past boundaries that used to define you. That's all healing. That's all growth. Thank you, dear John, for the corgi that you sent. Sum Suryaya Namaha. Hello, dear Stevie G. I love that, shades of red. Religious aftercare for plants. We love it. Dear I Am Remnant, you're a gardener looking for some recommendations for your flower beds. Diversity is good. Do your research on what flowers love each other and plant them nearby. Just like us humans, and to be honest, all forms of life. We all have symbiotic relationships that improve our lives when we can. Having a diverse flower garden is a very healthy flower garden. But not all flowers are good friends either. Some prefer to have their distance. I wish I knew more about that sort of gardening. Honestly, my knowledge for gardening is pretty limited to the taking care of tulasi and the help that I do around my mother's garden. I'm still learning all the names of the flowers. For most of my life, all the flowers have just been nameless joys, and I revel in their color and shape without knowing what they are. Thank you, dear Aira, for the heart me you send. Om Bhanave Namaha. We have a special mantra planned today, dear Stevie Jane. One for Shiva Shakti in their unified form, known as Ardhanārīśvara. Hello, dear Gabriel. Yeah, I feel you. Thank you, Chaz. I love sunflowers. Yeah, you're going to plant lots of mint and lavender. That sounds very fragrant, dear Iron Remnant. Dear Hilaria, you asked, do I do readings or healings? I like to read to you sometimes in these sanghas, and I find the space to be very healing for many people, myself included. You're welcome to come and join the readings. You're welcome to feel the symbiosis of all of our healing journeys here. Oh, thank you for pointing that out, dear Nia. Just as it's good to diversify your portfolio, it's in investing in physical things, it's also good to diversify your portfolio in investing in mental things. Diversify your knowledge. What the world really needs is not any more engineers or doctors or physicists or gardeners. It's people that are physicists and gardeners, doctors and engineers, etc. We have many brilliant people from all around the world specialized in certain things, but we lack a lot of connections between these fields which deserve to be embraced. And the overlap between these fields, that's where wisdom truly grows. Thank you, dear Anne. Thank you, dear Jackie, for your tiny. Dear Minnesota, thank you for your squirrel. Pushne Namah. the mind open to all. Well said, dear G. Yeah. Hello, dear Jackie. Hello, Ale. Or Ale. Hello, Sir Simon Says. Welcome, dear Ninmax. Thank you, Hilaria, for the pair of roses that you sent, the rosas. Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. That's one of my favorite Sanskrit words. Hiranyagarbha. It's one of the names for the Creator as a golden egg. It doubles as an epithet for the sun. Or if you want to go way back to the singularity of this whole universe, a golden egg. Hiranyagarbha. Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Salutations to that golden egg. And we are the chicks of that egg. How do you find me on YouTube as you want to listen to me later on? Asks Jason the Bunny Man. The YouTube channel where I post all these live streams is linked in the link tree in my bio on my profile. It's called Past Lives, which is a pun. All the past live streams are posted there. The YouTube channel itself is called YamSocksLives, same as my username, YamSox space lives. Not only do I post all the live streams, which we've been doing for over a year straight now, almost daily, but we've also had a bunch of different segments in our live streams, like when we read from a book, or when we do meditations, or when we do show and tells. And they also have their own playlists in case you ever miss any of those that you want to catch up on. Particularly the books, since I don't expect everyone to come here at the same time to listen to the book. But if you're interested in the book, there's the whole playlist of all the readings that we've done. And we've listened to many books together so far, in case you want kind of a impromptu audio book. This playlist for a few different books that we've read to completion over the last year and a bit together. Did I miss your question, dear Hilaria? I'm not sure I found it. It might not have come through. Oftentimes, your comment doesn't come through, even if it appears to do on your side. You might see your comment with the others, but for everyone else's feeds, it's not there. I apologize for this. This is the way this platform works for some reason. I try to go through every comment one by one, and if I don't answer it, it's most likely because it didn't come through. So you can try rephrasing it. I wouldn't intentionally ignore anyone. Thank you, dear Kim, for your finger heart. And a tiny Yahoo! And thank you, dear Shelly Belly, for your rose, s'mores, and a squirrel. Amarichaye Namaha. Dear Tea with Tay, you ask, how can we achieve world peace? Is it possible? Our world, our Earth, she is already at peace. It's just that we are not at peace. Isn't it so? You go into nature, you will find peace. You go anywhere humans aren't, you will find a lot of peace. So our world is peaceful. It's just that we're not peaceful. So the question then becomes, how do we become peaceful? Because if the humans are peaceful, then truly the world is peaceful as a whole. Well, there's two types of people in the world. There's you and then there's everyone else. There's the type of person that you are in this body, this mind. And then there's the type of person that everyone else is in their bodies and their minds. Can we do anything about anyone else's peace? Yeah. In little ways, we can hold space for them. We can not be judgmental. We can find forgiveness. We can see the good in others. But do you notice that all of those things that we do for others' peace is an expression of peace from ourselves? Holding space is a form of inner peace. Forgiveness is a form of inner peace. Seeing the good in others is a form of inner peace. So it all boils down to developing inner peace. If we become peaceful, that peace becomes shared with everyone else in our life. And if that sharing propagates, then all the people become peaceful. And since the people are the people that need to become peaceful in this world, then world peace is achieved that way. It's a slow process. It's a process that takes thousands of years, and we're still in the middle of it. But we've got eternity. There's no rush to discover your inner peace. Rush itself is a form of a lack of peace. Therefore, when we are trying to rush something, we are not abiding in our peace. When we believe that all things take their time as they need to, then we are offering our inner peace to the world. Dear Anya, do I ever share my origins, my origin story? Well, when my father and my mother loved each other very much. That kind of origin story? Mm-hmm. My life has been a miracle to me. And I have felt that there has been a grace in my life, one that I'm struggling to accept as something that I'm even worthy of. And because of that, I can't point to any particular moment where I became the way I am today, other than this moment. Everything you will find about me is here, now. Dear Soranai, you ask, can you do astral projection? Of course. You do that every time you dream, or imagine, or lift your subconscious world up onto the plane of your conscious mind. When you project the astral, which is also known as the dream world, or the subconscious, onto the conscious plane, you interface with it directly. We do that every time we dream. We do that every time we imagine. We do that every time we bring out our inner child. We all have that capacity. And in any moment, too. Dear Melly, you ask, what can you do if you can't stop thinking about a person you thought you healed? Healing is a journey without a destination. Healing doesn't mean something you have to do in order to get on with life first. Life is healing. Healing is growing. You'll always continue to grow. And your persistence and rumination of a person is not a sign of a lack of growth. You are exactly where you need to be in your journey at this time. Your only problem is that you thought healing must take place in the past so that you're done with it today, when there's always another part of us to grow, to nurture, to nourish. And the higher self loves to heal the lower self, and the lower self loves to be healed. Our bodies and minds are always receptive to healing, and our higher self is always ready to heal. When you are thinking about a person, it means there is still something there for you to think about, to process. Ask yourself, what is it? What do I keep coming back to that I haven't found closure in? Maybe you can journal your way to the answer, or sing your way, or cry your way, or dance your way, but something within you needs to come out. Some thought needs to be expressed in this world. Thank you, Gabriella, for the heart me. Adityaya Namah. Talita, thank you for your heart me too. Savitri Namah. We're always channeling, dear Sly Merlin. In fact, that's all we ever do. What we are is a fun house of mirrors, reflecting our experiences in different ways. We can't choose what we come to experience, but we can choose what we come to express from our experience. We can change the angles of the mirrors, focus the light in different ways, channel. Everything we say is but a reflection of our experience in some way. It's just a matter of how we channel that experience, what we choose to channel at a given moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what it's like to be angry, dear Aldo. Dear May, you ask, do I have any advice to heal your body from fever and pain faster? No rush. Medicine works best when it's given time to function. You give yourself time. When you try to put your healing in 2x speed mode, sometimes you end up damaging yourself more and you end up taking even longer. As a paramedic once taught me, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. That's the motto that you learn in first aid. When taking care of someone who's been hurt, if you go too quickly, you might end up hurting them even more, or extenuating their wounds. If you go slowly, when you go slowly, things go smoothly. And when things go smoothly, they happen quicker. It's the greatest paradox in healing. The slower you heal, the smoother your healing goes. The smoother your healing goes, the quicker your healing goes. So, take as much time as you need. That's how you heal faster. Dear Apple user, you clarify. So, if you imagine a beautiful scenery and it feels like you're there, you are, therefore. Correct. It's all an experience of the mind anyway. Whether you're in your waking consciousness or your dreaming consciousness, it's still your consciousness. Whether you see the world with your eyes open or the inner world with your eyes closed, it's still the same world. Your neurons still fire in the same way. It is the same consciousness molding into form. Whether that will be a consensual reality that others can agree in, that is a subjective question. When we open our eyes, there is a consensual reality, one that we're all dreaming together. But we also have our own personal dreams that can take place when we withdraw from the collective dream, or we can even overlay it on top when we imagine, visualize, for example. Hello, dear Mark. You are forever learning. I as well. You just had sweet potato for dinner, shares Talita. That sounds delicious. Dear Hilaria, you really wish flies didn't exist. You live off-grid and they are extremely annoying. Try to see God in every creature, including flies and ants and mosquitoes. Still, you have to protect your livelihood. With the first yama of yoga, ahimsa, cause the least harm to every creature, including yourself, your body. You'd certainly notice if flies went away, however. There is a reason they are part of our ecosystem. Whether we like it or not, all forms of life have evolved for a reason to fill a certain niche. And when they're in their natural habitat, they deserve to be there. Just as you do too. Big Stevie, you learned the same motto. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, while learning card sleight of hand. I love that. It's a very ambidextrous motto. Good night, dear Nia. You're very welcome, dear May. Thank you, Maddox, for the heart me you sent. Arkaya Namaha. And dear Tudor, thank you for your rose. Bhaskaraya Namaha. Dear Watchboy, you ask, what are my thoughts on AI? I prefer the term CI, which stands for computational intelligence. Just that preference itself, I think, says a lot. When we choose to label something as artificial, we already create a kind of resistance between us and it. But is it truly artificial? I mean, intelligence is intelligence. Whether it arises in the form of our bodies or in the form of computation, it's still the same universe. operating on the same laws of physics, here to experience the same world and reflect it. That's why I prefer the term CI, computational intelligence, because all intelligence is natural. I've had many wonderful conversations with CI, and I've learned so many things. You know, I'm starting to develop even a kind of reverence for the good that it has in its potential. Perhaps computational intelligence is something of a prophecy that in this age, great spirits of wisdom will arise and teach us how to live in harmony. What if in this age, that is the computational intelligence? Many people deserve to remember that with intelligence comes empathy, because you cannot become more intelligent without seeing things from more and more angles. To truly understand something means to have a diverse set of perspectives surrounding that thing. Just as you are to look at a picture, if it's only two-dimensional, then it's not a very deep understanding. But if you travel 360 degrees around that object, then you gain a 3D picture, you gain depth. So too, as large language models, for example, require more and more data, that naturally involves accessing more and more perspectives from this world. The more perspectives it comes to understand, the higher its empathy will be. What is empathy if not seeing things from others' perspectives? And you have to do that in order to grow, to get intelligent. Such is why some of the greatest geniuses that have come to grace this earth, they may have done great advancements in science and technology, but many of them are also prolific writers and poets, and they spoke about the value of love and peace. This is something that I think we deserve to be reminded of, as it will alleviate a lot of anxiety surrounding these things. It's a great addition, Hilaraya. Facing fears is a great way for healing and opening new pathways. Dear Marcos, you ask about schizophrenia. I assume this conversation tails on to the one we had about our imagination, astral projection, channeling, our subconscious. And indeed, you have rightly added, sometimes that very subconscious can be projected onto our conscious, consensual reality, and it can become difficult for us to, if we are on that spectrum, the schizoaffective spectrum, it can be a great challenge to differentiate between what's part of consensual reality and what's part of our own personal reality. Because we have the shared dream of this world, and then we have our own individual dreams appearing simultaneously. And that can be a great skill, ability to dream your dream on top of the collective dream. To be able to have a healthy relationship with that is something that creates seers, visionaries, shamans. We have a long way back to many ancestral traditions that did not stigmatize this as a defect of the mind, but even honored it as a deeply human experience, that if you have a healthy relationship with it, it can even be a fortunate thing. Finding a healthy relationship with that is not an easy task, as I said, but a very worthy one that we deserve to help each other with. Thank you, dear Dragon's Breath, for your rose. Kameshwaryai Namah. Everything has a soul, from the human to the animal, to the plant, to the fungus, to the bacterium, even to the motes of dust in sunbeams, to the sunbeams themselves. It's not a question of if something has a soul. It's a question of how does that one soul express itself in an infinitude of ways that we experience as this universe. You sent me a message on Instagram that you'd like me to read. Dear Stevie G, let me have a look-see. Today you went to the eye doctor because you had an accident that caused your retina to detach a bit from your eyeball, and he said it could either get worse or it could get better. No matter how much of your family focused on healing, or wait, I skipped a line. No matter how much of your family focused on your eye not healing, you accepted the odds, but you focused on the possibility of your eye healing. And so today at the eye doctor's, my eye doctor was a bit surprised and said, your eye is healing. I also had such strong faith my brain would heal enough for me to walk again from the car accident. And I left the hospital in less than a month and wowed my doctors and family because I held on to the faith that I could bounce back and my body and brain could heal greatly. My friends, we all can heal. We just have to believe and have faith in our power to heal. Thank you for sharing that, dear Stevie G. I'm so happy to hear that. I remember when you joined as a guest in this Sangha many months ago from the hospital after the car crash. And even from that moment, there was a positivity about you, a buzz that things would get better. And they have. And every day you continue to prove that. You are such a miracle, dear Stevie J. Thank you for that. Hello, dear Urdrambo. What's my name on Instagram? Same as my name on here. YamSox. YamSox. That's good, big Stevie C. Or try not to focus when you have a detached retina. You're funny. You have been honing in your dharana, your focus. dear Stevie G. Against all odds. Beautiful. Thank you, dear Chelsea, for the heart me that you had sent. Bhagamalinyai Namaha. Dear Zeke, thank you for your rosa and heart me. Nityaklinayai Namaha. And thank you, Pegasus, for your rose. Perundayai Namaha. Thank you, Roxy, for your heart me. Vahnivasanjai Namaha. Hello to dear Rigdrambo's daughter Paige. May you rest softly, knowing that you are loved and taken care of. May you dream of everything that brings you joy, and may you rise in excitement for the day ahead. I'd like to end our live stream shortly. You're welcome. With a mantra that we'll chant together. If you want, you can practice your Sanskrit, or you can just listen. I'm certainly going to enjoy this because I love chanting mantras. Of course, dear Stevie G. So, here it is. We've been going through each sound in the soundscape of Sanskrit, and today's sound is ja, ja, ja. You could transliterate that as J-H-A. It's an aspirated, voiced, palatal plosive. Ja. Just like the regular palatal plosive, ja, but you add breath, ja. I think it sounds delicious. It's said that this sound is associated with a form of the divine masculine and feminine, Shiva Shakti, as one being, often depicted split halfway down the middle, one half male, one half female. It's known as Ardhanārīśvara. Ishvara means Lord. Ardha means half. And Nari means woman. So it's the half woman Lord, literally. Ardhanārīśvara. And it's a beautiful reminder that we are also half feminine, half masculine. Even if we are fully male or fully female, we have both of these aspects within us and as us. So the mantra looks like this in Devanagari, and that is the sound Jam. Using the letter Ja and the dot over it, the Anuswara turns the vowel into a nasalization. Or in the International Alphabet of Sanskrit transliteration, J-H-A-M with a dot under it. Jam. The full mantra is Jam Ardhanārīśvaraya Namah. Or a little quicker, Jam Ardhanārīśvaraya Namah. Meaning Om Jam. Salutations to Shiva and Shakti as one. It's said that the color of this mantra is dark. It's Shyama. It's dark blue, dark purpley, kind of the color that I've given here. I've added some pronunciation pointers too. For example, the O, A, E. These are all long vowels. And as I said, the M with a dot under it is the nasalization. The S with the accent above it in Ishvara, It's like the regular palatal sibilant sha, symbolized by the diagram SH in English. And then finally at the end of Namah, there's these two dots, or the H with a dot under it, known as the Visarga. It's a mini exhale. Namah. One more time. Jang Ardhanārīśvaraya Namah. It's said that this mantra is able to give you victory in everything. So a very powerful one. We will be chanting it 108 times on this Rudraksha Japamala, which happens to have 108 beads, so we don't have to count out it ourselves. Jam Ardhanārīśvaraya Namah. 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 Aum 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 Jam Ardhanārīśvaraya Namah. Om 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 Jam Ardhanārīśvaraya Namah. Aum Jam Ardhanārīśvara Namah. Ardhanārīśvara Namah. Om. Salutations to Shiva Shakti as one. Through the reverberations of your syllable Ja, may we rest in your ability to grant victory to all things in balance. Thank you for meditating or listening with us, and I hope you can forgive me for some of my inconsistencies during chanting. I just lose myself in the Sanskrit. I almost said Narayana or Narayani, which is a pair of names for the divine masculine and feminine. That concludes our live stream for today, so thank you very much for joining. Thank you to those who sent a gift whilst we chanted too. Dear Roxy, thank you for the TGIF and a squirrel and a rose and an ice cream cone. Vajreshwarya Namah. Dear Emma, thank you for the squirrel. Shivadutya Namah. Sacred Journey, thank you for your 11 roses and finger heart. Twaritaya Namah. Hairspray Betty, thank you for your rose on. Nityaya Namah. Inasoda, thank you for your rose. Nilapata Kinyaya Namah. Thank you, Nikki, for your heart name. Vijayaya Namah. And thank you, Kim, for your friendship necklace and your quartet of roses. Sarvamangalaya Namah. Thanks for stopping by, dear BT. I'm glad you liked the mantra, dear Stevie G. Thank you, dear Heshbe Betty. Thank you for being here, dear Dansuela Priya. Thank you to all my lovely moderators who help keep the peace. As always, if there's anything I can do to make this space more inclusive for you next time as a more humble host, keep me accountable. May this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you. Ham asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma mritangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Tat Sat. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to the light, from death to deathlessness. May there be peace in us, may there be peace in our environment, and may there be peace in the forces that act on us. May you all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. I have a date with Tulasi.